today, I fitted these on my Interceptor. They're the Trip Machine Wingman Side Panels, and in just a minute I'm going to walk you through the entire step-by-step installation process. At the end of this video, I'll also be giving you my initial, brutally honest, first impressions of the panels fitted on the bike. Trust me, there'll be no sugarcoating here. Now, before we go any further, I just want to clear something up. At the start of this video, there was a label at the top of the screen. It would have said something like, includes paid promotion. Now I've had to add this in because Trip Machine have given me these panels for free. They've not actually paid me to tell you how amazing these panels are. So you will be getting my real opinion on them, and you'll be finding out if they're actually worth buying. Here's the install. Right guys, we're going to start by removing both the side panels off the bike. If you already own an Interceptor or a Continental, I'm pretty sure you know how to do this bit anyway. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you, because some people out there, they might not own one of these bikes yet, thinking about getting one. They're looking at potential mods they could do, so this bit might be helpful for them. First of all, you need to insert the key, turn it in a clockwise direction, pull the bottom of the panel out and then down. We can now access the seat release toggle, pull that, lift the seat up and then slide it backwards. Okay, so removing the left hand side panel is a bit different to the right hand side. You've actually got to take a bolt out. So the bolt that comes in these bikes from the factory looks like that. It's got a head on it for a 4mm Allen key. I swapped that straight away with a GoPro screw. If you get the longest type you can buy, they sell them on Amazon, they're only cheap. It just makes taking this panel off in the future a lot easier. You're not faffing about with an Allen key. Just a little tip for you there. What I didn't realise at that point in the video is that with fitting the Wingman panels, you no longer require this GoPro screw. Keep it to the side in case you ever need to refit your original panels. With the screw removed, pull the top of the panel out and then up. Let's see what comes in the box. The panels are really well packaged and they come with some nice storage bags to keep your original panels safe when not in use. Not bad at all. Very nice.
It's a very nice.
Good bit of powder coating on there. I'm impressed. This is the original right hand side panel. We need to swap over the bottom section. Do this by removing these 3 torque screws. We also need to swap over these 2 rubber washers. These are actually quite tricky to remove, especially with cold hands. Remove the 2 nuts on the lower section of the Wingman panel. If the bolt starts to spin, you can easily access the head of the bolt inside the bag with an Allen key. The lower section from the original factory panel can be sandwiched in between the 2 or placed on the top. It's entirely up to you. Personally, I think this way looks better. Refit the nuts, tighten them up, and also put them rubber washers in at the top of the panel. I've also added some stainless steel washers inside the bag. I'll show you that in just a second. Here are the stainless steel washers that I added inside the bag. They didn't come with any. To be honest, I probably don't need them, but I've added them in there anyway. Bit more peace of mind if I've got any weight in the bags. That head's never going to rip through the leather. To be fair, I don't think they would have done. They did actually reinforce the leather there, so yeah, I've added them in anyway, for what it's worth. They're only cheap. Remove these 3 bolts, get rid of your toolkit, tuck away the seat release toggle, and fit your new panel. There's a bit more involved with fitting the left hand side, but it's not exactly difficult. We need to install this bracket. On the bike, we need to remove this bolt from the wheel arch. It's the top bolt. For reference, there's 2 bolts below it. You also need to remove this rubber washer. This bolt, provided by Trip Machine, is going to replace the bolt we've just removed from the wheel arch. Fit that and tighten it up. With that bolt in place, we can offer up the bracket. I added my washer and nut to the back bolt first, but I left it finger tight. To secure the front section of the bracket, I'm fitting a bolt, 2 washers and a nylock nut. We can tighten this up now. Go back to the other side. The nut we left finger tight can now be tightened up all the way. The bracket's on, it's all bolted up. The fitment's good. What I have noticed at the back of the bracket, you have a captive nut that's been welded on. It's for this bolt here. That is touching directly on the wiring loom. Now that's no fault of Trip Machine. It's just the way the wire's sat on the bike. I don't ever want that to chafe through on the bracket. It probably would have never done that. But I've added a piece of rubber in there between the two. Just like we did on the right hand side, we also have to swap over the lower section of the original panel onto the left hand side too. Remove the 2 bolts that are already installed into the bracket and fit the side panel. I used a pick to help line up the holes for the bolts. I also added some washers. Once you've tightened your 2 bolts up, that's it. You've successfully fitted your Wingman side panels. Okay, so before I tell you if I think that these panels are actually worth it, let's go through the positives and the negatives. I'm going to start with the positives first. Quality and craftsmanship. The Wingman side panels are incredibly well made. Trip Machine has really nailed the quality here. The materials, including the leather, are top notch. You can tell it's built to last with attention to detail at every step. Style and fitment. These panels look like a genuine Royal Enfield accessory, and on the Trip Machine website there's plenty of colours to choose from. And the fitment is top notch. Additional storage. Obviously, one of the best parts is the extra storage they provide. I no longer need a backpack for longer rides, which makes a huge difference in comfort and convenience. Plus, I now have no excuse not to carry my disc lock with me on every single ride. There's plenty of room for it. That's a game changer for me. Waterproofing. Although they're not fully waterproof, Trip Machine thought ahead and included waterproof covers. They're perfect for when you get caught in a downpour, but the real bonus is that when washing your bike, you don't need to remove the panels to keep them dry. You can also use them as shower caps if you want. Comfort and rideability. Lastly, something I was concerned about was whether the panels would get in the way when riding, especially on the inside of my legs. I'm happy to report that they don't interfere at all, which I honestly didn't expect. It's now time for the negatives. I've noticed online that some people complain that when you fit this panel, you've got nowhere to put your toolkit. Of course you have. You've got all the space in here for your toolkit, and then you've also got this additional space. So people whinging about that is just beyond me. Something else that people get upset about on the right hand side is that the toggle for the seat release is now loose at the back of this panel. I'm fussy with my bike and that does not bother me in the slightest. But if it did, I know there's a guy from America. He makes a bracket that fits on the back of the MK Design bracket, which allows you to clip the toggle in place. It would definitely not put me off buying this panel. The only little niggle that I found with these panels is that when you've got them zipped up all the way, the zip is dangerously close to the frame. And I'm thinking when you're going around corners, zipping it, unzipping it, are you eventually going to scratch the frame? Who knows? Only time will tell. It's now time for the big question. Are they worth it? If you're in the market for additional storage and you like the look of the Wingman side panels, then absolutely, they're worth it. They stand out because no one else is making panels to this standard. Sure, there are cheaper alternatives out there, but they come with elastic straps that fit over the existing panels. Now I can imagine those elastic straps might start to sag over time and they could potentially scratch your original panels when you hit bumps in the road. Plus, from what I've seen, they don't fit as flush as these Wingman panels do. Now, some might say the elastic ones are easier to fit, but honestly, the Wingman side panels aren't hard to install at all. It took me less than 30 minutes to get them on, and for the quality and the fit you're getting, that's more than worth it. If you've got any questions about the Wingman panels, drop them in the comment section. I promise I'll answer everyone. If you've already got these fitted to your bike, let me know how they're holding up for you. I'll be keeping my subscribers updated on the durability of these in the community section of my channel, as I use them more throughout the year, so stay tuned for that. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you subscribe to the channel, you'll see me in the next one. Until next time, take care. But for the sake of this vinegar,